Hello again, Lucy and Conrad and Caleb. Are y'all really ready to meet Magneto? He's one of the most powerful villains in all of the Marvel Comics stories. How will the X-Men defeat him? Let's see. Well, here he is. He is a powerful mutant and he prepares to strike. He's in a secret laboratory near Cape Citadel. He says, "The moment is at hand. All my months of preparation and planning shall now pay off. The human race no longer deserves dominion over planet Earth. The day of the mutants is upon us. The first phase of my plan shall be to show my power, to make Homo sapiens bow to Homo superior." That's how the mutants think of themselves, as Homo superior. They're better than regular human beings. He's looking at a TV screen. He says the mightiest rocket of all is about to be launched using maximum security precautions. The government feels nothing can prevent its successful flight. But here, miles from the launching site, I, the miraculous Magneto, alone shall make a mockery of their greatest effort. I can feel the irresistible waves of pure magnetic energy surging from me. Now, by exerting every iota of power, I can direct that energy upward, upward, until it strikes the speeding missile, causing it to change direction, to falter, to lose altitude, to be completely, irrevocably destroyed. So the people at NASA say, "General, every phase of the launching was A-OK. There can only be one explanation. The bird was tampered with." The general says, "But how? Even a microbe couldn't have penetrated our top security measures." The next day, the shocking news is transmitted to a startled public. As they read the newspaper, it says, "Sixth top secret launching fails at sea." Someone says, "Incredible. It's almost as though a destructive ghost is running amok at the Cape." The news salesman says, "Extra, extra. Another missile fails. Extra." But the worst is yet to come. Later that afternoon, at the heavily guarded fence surrounding the launching site, a sergeant says to a soldier, "Keep that gun steady. Why is it quivering that way?" "We're not doing it, sir. It's moving by itself." Suddenly, like a living thing, the machine gun leaps into the air, spins around, and begins to fire wildly in all directions. "Run for cover! The gun is out of control." But the machine gun is not the only thing that suddenly, maddeningly, seems to go amok. "Run! The tank is moving by itself. Gangway! Swish!" It's impossible, and yet it's acting like it has a mind of its own, like it's trying to menace us. Within seconds, the entire installation is alarmed as emergency measures are swiftly brought into play. And then the general says, "Sound the alarm, condition red, alert the Pentagon." Another soldier says, "General, look, above us in the sky." Appearing as though by magic, over the heads of the astonished troops, huge letters take place, composed of the dust particles from the air itself, skillfully magnetized into a message by the unseen mutant. The message says, "Surrender the base, or I'll take it by force," and it's signed Magneto. Have y'all figured it out yet? Magnetism is the power that controls metal. And so Magneto, with his magnetic powers can control anything that is made of metal, which is so many things in our world. So that makes him very, very powerful. As they read, they say, Magneto? Who? What is Magneto? General, what does it mean? Is someone playing a grim prank? The general says, you saw that machine gun? That tank rampaging out of control? This is no joke, Colonel. Back in the lab, Magneto says, they are startled. Good, the element of surprise is in my favor. But they're making no move to surrender. Perhaps they need another demonstration of my power. I'll direct my magnetic impulses into this energizer to increase their power, and then I'll leave the helpless Homo sapiens with no room for doubt. An instant later, invisible waves of pure, powerful, magnetic energy flow irresistibly into an underground silo where one of the democracy's silent sentinels wait at the ready, and then, manipulated by a sinister intelligence many hundreds of yards away, the magnetic force lifts the silo head, activating the mighty missile. And it flies off into the air. What will happen? Demonstrating a power which the human brain is almost unable to comprehend, Magneto causes the grim rocket to fall into the sea, many miles from shore, next to an unmanned target ship. But still, the thought of surrender never crosses the minds of the fighting-mad base personnel. The general says, Sergeant, double the guard. At every missile control center, any rocket deemed a menace is to be destroyed instantly. The general says, some power beyond our understanding is affecting our weapons. We must find this Magneto. General, look, that commotion at the main gate. It seems that he has found us first. Sure enough, here he comes. He approaches the base. The military policeman says, hold it, Mac. If you're looking for a masquerade party, you've come to the wrong place. Beat it. Magneto says, well said, guard. What a pity you have no power to back up such impressive words. Your puny weapons cannot stop me. They can't, huh? One little burst over your head will surely change your mind. What? What gives? The gun won't fire. The trigger seems locked in place. The other military policeman says, I can't even lift my gun. It feels like it weighs a ton. Magneto is using his magnetic powers to render their guns unworkable. And so now he's walking through the base, and he's got a magnetic force field around him. He says, now I'll merely alter my magnetic waves from positive to negative so they will repel anything that comes within range. Nothing can touch me as I walk to my objective. The policemen say, we can't stop him. Call for reinforcements. I'm way ahead of you, pal. So they call for reinforcements. But when the additional reinforcements are equally powerless to stop the one-man invasion of the strategic base, they say, it's like he's got an invisible barrier around him, hurling us away. Look, he's walking untouched, and everybody is flying in all directions. Finally, he says, there, by simply narrowing my magnetic waves all around the lesser humans, I can keep them confined to that area until I reach their officer in command. Finally, the general says, hold it, men. All right, whoever you are, if you've got something to say, you've got 60 seconds to say it. Magneto responds, wrong, General. I have all the time in the world, and now I, the miraculous Magneto, claim this entire installation in the name of Homo Superior. The general says, that does it. Take him, men. We'll show him that... What? What's that? We can't move out of this small area. It's like being encircled by an invisible living fence. And look into the eyes of Magneto. He says, that living fence, as you call it, is the symbol of my great power. It is the mighty shield of magnetic energy. And so I have now accomplished my first objective. Gentlemen, Cape Citadel is mine. Well, let's get back to the X-Men. Meanwhile, in a dormitory room at the world's most exclusive private school, Jean Grey is absorbed with her reflection in the full-length mirror. The reflection which reveals the new Marvel Girl. What do you think, Lucy? Here's your newest super heroine. It's Marvel Girl, and she's all dressed up in her yellow and blue outfit with her long red hair. Isn't she pretty? She's thinking, whoever designed this uniform could have given Christian Dior a run for his money. Christian Dior used to be a very famous clothing designer. Looking behind her, all the guys are gawking at her. One of them says, "Where did the new doll go?" "Oh, there she is." Wowee, looks like she was poured into that uniform. You again. Honestly, can't a girl have any privacy around here? Marvel Girl gets mad. Well, Hank says, "Easy, gorgeous. We were just passing by. Don't go getting mad." Hank knows what Marvel Girl can do when the guys get too pushy. But suddenly, the youngster's bantering is forgotten as a sharp, commanding thought registers in the brain of each of them. "Attention, X-Men. This is Professor Xavier. Report to my study immediately. You have 15 seconds. No excuses will be tolerated." Warren says, "Wow, did you all receive that mental blast?" Hank says, "And how? It sounded like a trumpet's blare. Let's go." Exactly 15 seconds later, Professor X says, "I commend you for your punctuality. I have just heard a bulletin on the radio which concerns you." Warren says, "You're speaking aloud. That means it's important." Bobby says, I never saw the professor like this before. So grim, so intense." He says, "A crisis has occurred at Cape Citadel, which leads me to believe the first of the evil mutants has made his appearance. This will be your baptism of fire. You are to go to the Cape and defeat him." Bobby says, "Yay-bo! Action at last! Gangway!" Scott says, "Cape Citadel, whatever the menace is, it must involve our missiles." And Hank says, "I wonder who the mutant baddie is." Well, Bobby says, I can get ready faster than the rest of you. All I have to do is ice up and put on my boots." Okay, so the Iceman is ready to go. Warren says, "As for me, it'll be a pleasure to get out of this harness I have to wear. Having a pair of wings can mean more trouble than you'd guess. Look, he has to fold his wings up and put on a jumpsuit around it to keep from showing everybody that he's the angel. He says, these restraining belts of mine keep my wings from bulging under my suit, but after a while, they feel like I'm wearing a straitjacket." "Ah, that's more like it. Now I feel like myself again. Now the angel is ready to spread his wings and fly." But the time has not yet come for the angel to fly. Instead, the band of superhuman teenagers are driven to the airport in Professor Xavier's specially built Rolls Royce with its dark tinted windows. Someone says, "Boy, it must take a heap of green stamps to buy a chariot like this." "No joking, please. Concentrate on your mission. Review your powers. Your foe is certain to be highly dangerous." Minutes later, in the professor's remote control private jet, the X-Men and Marvel Girl are winging toward Cape Citadel at nearly the speed of sound. Marvel Girl says, "You mean the professor is guiding this plane from the ground by thought impulses? It's unbelievable." Then one of the other guys says, "Look, doll, when you join the X-Men, you realize nothing's unbelievable." A short time later, at the Cape, a soldier says, "Cease firing. It's useless. We haven't anything in our arsenal that will penetrate Magneto's magnetic force field. Look, the force field is protecting the Cape. Nothing can get through." The soldier says, "To all intents and purposes, he's in full control of the installation while we're on the outside looking in." All of a sudden, here comes Cyclops. He says, "With due respect, General, I represent the X-Men. Perhaps we can help." A soldier says, "X-Men? Who are they?" The soldier says, "Look, we're having enough trouble with one cornball guy in a costume. Now, who or what are the X-Men?" "No time to explain, sir. I respectfully request you to hold your fire for 15 minutes while my partners and I go into action." The soldier says, "All right, we've nothing to lose, but I feel like a fool." Cyclops says, "You won't regret it, sir. X-Men, attack!" And so one of the soldiers says, "Hey, what's going on? Brrr, it's freezing all of a sudden." Iceman comes through. He says, "Sorry, man, I'll be out of here in a second, and then you can warm up again. I'm saving my real big freeze for whoever's hiding behind that force field. Look, the gun is all iced up." And then here comes the Angel. He says, "At last we'll have a chance to use all the training the professor gave us." A soldier says, "Oh, a walking snowman? A guy with wings flying above us? What's next?" Well, here comes the Beast. He says, "You'll see in a second, soldier, while I play leapfrog over you." And then here comes Marvel Girl, and she's using her telekinetic power to move the soldiers out of her way. "Sorry, boys, I'm in a hurry, and this is the easiest way to clear a path for myself." Finally, the first of the X-Men reaches the force field, and it's Cyclops, and he's bumping up against the magnetic energy waves, but he hears a thought from Professor X, who says, "Use your energy beam at greater power. That magnetic field is stronger than it seems, Cyclops." Cyclops says, "The professor is still in touch with us mentally, despite the distance between us." "Yes, sir, Professor. I'll increase the beam's intensity right now." And so he opens up his visor, and his beam attacks the force field. He says, "I'm getting through." That's what was needed, a natural counterforce to batter the unnatural magnetic field. And now I'll switch to maximum power. I can only maintain this pressure for a few seconds, but I did it. Look at the power of his eye beams, and the power breaks through the magnetic field. Behind the force field, the natural energy feedback weakens the startled Magneto. He says, "Some power is attacking me, some power as superhuman as my own." I was staggered because I was unprepared for such an onslaught. But now that I'm forewarned, I can defeat any foe, no matter how superhuman he may be. But Magneto is soon to learn that he has more than one foe to contend with. He has the fighting band of X-Men. The Beast says, "Cyclops almost knocked himself out, but he got us in here. Now let's prove we can carry the ball." And so Hank is carrying Cyclops. And here comes the voice of the Professor X. "Look sharp, X-Men. You are facing a dangerous enemy." And so Marvel Girl, Beast, Cyclops, Angel, and Iceman go forward against this foe that they haven't met yet. There he is, Magneto. He says, "Ah, now I see my antagonists, 5 costumed youths. Surely all their powers put together can be no match for mine." but I will let the base's hunter missiles do my fighting for me. They will hunt the 5 down, attracted by their body heat. And so he launches 5 heat-seeking missiles. At the press of a button, Magneto unleashes 5 of the most sophisticated weapons ever created, all zeroed in on the X-Men. The first target for the merciless missiles is the Angels, flying closest to them. He's flying around. He says, I've got to dodge them somehow. He flies around. He says, it's no use. They're too fast, gaining on me. Iceman says, hang on, Angel. I can help you while they're still within range. And he shoots off 3 ice grenades. They mustn't miss. They're the Angels' only chance. Bam, 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 bullseye. Just as the hunter missiles are attracted to heat, so are the Iceman's ice grenades attracted by the missile's speed. And so he's able to hit them, and when they turn to ice, he says it worked. The ice covered their noses, preventing them from exploding. Now with their guidance systems knocked out, they've got to drop to the ground. But there is one missile which was not hit, too far away now for the Iceman to attack. Look at the Angel. He swoops up into the air, but he says, I can't keep dodging it much longer. So here comes the Beast with his agility, swinging around the poles. He says, Angel, fly lower, come towards me, hurry. Angel says, okay, Beast, but what? And so the Beast swings around and leaps up. He says, just wait and see, pal. And he grabs the missile with his feet. And then Marvel Girl says, good work, Beast. Now release it. I'll take over now. And using her amazing telekinetic power, Marvel Girl mentally hurls the missile into the air, where it harmlessly detonates upon impact. Magneto looks out. He says, despite their seeming youth and inexperience, they are mighty antagonists. I must never again make the mistake of underestimating them, but I shall still prove to be their master. Here comes the Angel. He says, there he is. I've found him. X-Men attack. Magneto says, wrong, you flying fool. It is I, Magneto, who have found you. See how easily I can stop your flight by magnetically hurling every nearby object which is not bolted down. Oh my, look at what the power of his magnetism can do. He is moving steel girders and unused bombs and space capsules and pipes. They're all surrounding him so he cannot fly. But here comes the Cyclops with his I-beam, and he blasts them away. Says, don't congratulate yourself too soon, Magneto. See how easily I can remove your magnetized junk with my energy beam. Angel says, much obliged, Cyclops. Magneto can't have gone far. Let's find him now. Magneto is sneaking around. He says, they're all together now. Good. I'll finish them off with one fell swoop. And then look what he's got. A tank with rocket fuel. He says, not all those with mutant powers are fit to rule the earth. You must be destroyed. Iceman says, heads up, X-Men. Here comes trouble. Iceman says, we can't get out of the way in time. Only one thing to do. Stay close together. I'll cover us with an ice igloo shield. Cyclops realizes that Magneto ignited the rocket fuel. It's going to blow up. Wham! The explosion fills the air with noise and flame. But look, the ice shield protected them. Magneto says, now with them out of the way, nothing remains to interfere with the master plan of the miraculous Magneto. The heat is so intense that even I cannot get close to it. I must walk carefully around it. But look, from the ground, here comes an energy beam. Magneto says, that beam from underneath the ground, what does it mean? We know what it means. It means Cyclops is coming from underground, and so are all of the X-Men. They're coming up from beneath Magneto. Angel says, it means you're finished, Magneto. Cyclops created a tunnel for us under the blast with his energy beam, saving us from the impact. And now they're coming after him. Cyclops' energy beam throws Magneto back. Magneto says, you haven't defeated me yet. I can still escape you flying by means of magnetic repulsion. Angel says, ugh, he created another magnetic force field. We can't fly. I can't fly through. And Marvel Girl says, don't worry, Angel. We'll breach it in no time. And Cyclops is using his I-beam again. But when they do breach it, he's gone, Angel says. But where? Cyclops says, a mutant with his powers, he could be anywhere. But at least we've beaten him for now. Angel lands on the ground and says, your base is operational again, General. Magneto is gone. General says, uncanny. Your 15 minutes are not yet up. You called yourselves the X-Men. I will not ask you to reveal your true identities, but I promise you that before this day is over, the name X-Men will be the most honored in my command. No, that must be the Angel, says, thank you, sir, and should America's security ever again be threatened, the X-Men will be back. And so they fly back home in the amazing plane, and we hear the final thoughts of Professor X. Well done, students. You have justified all our long hours of training, all our sacrifices, all our dreams, and now return to me, my X-Men. Well, what did you think about the story of the X-Men? I thought you'd enjoy it, and Lucy, I know that you enjoy having a new superhero girl to cheer on. So I hope y'all enjoyed the story, and there'll be more stories to come. So until then, bye-bye for now.